Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here. And today, a devblog was released, and in it we have the details of Atlantico's Dockyard, along with some major graphical improvements to the game, along with some other content addition. So we're going to go ahead and go over that in today's video. Link to this devblog will be in the description down below. If you want to read along as I read aloud, any relevant images or artwork will be thrown up on screen as we go through it. And again, link to this is in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get on into it. New Dockyard and other news, 11.3 closed test. Let's review some features and activities planned for the next update. Italian Destroyers Part 2 event. Early access to the Tier 2 to Tier 10 Italian Destroyers continues in Update 11.3. In honor of this occasion, we added a new Italian collection and the Italian Destroyers Part 2 flag. Again, this is talking about 11.3. So 11.2 I think is next week or week after, and this is 11.3, so this is the April update. So there's a new collection for Italian Destroyers. They say the reward for completing each section of the collection is the ability to mount 2 flags on Italian destroyers, cruisers, and battleships, respectively. The final reward for collecting all elements of the collection is Italian Destroyer Leone, which is the Tier 6 Italian DD, a commemorative flag, and an achievement. Collection elements can only be acquired from Italian Destroyer containers. So, cool, collection is cool. It's a way to get some free stuff. You can mount 2 flags on the Italian ships, and this is normally, with the exception here and there, the case in which you get the alternative camo for the said ships of whatever nation that you're doing this collection for. But there's also been other ways to get the alternative camo, like the Yamamoto campaign for the Japanese ships and stuff. It's how you get the blue camo instead of the green camo that you get with the Japanese battleships, destroyers, cruisers, CVs, so forth and so on. So, yep, cool. You get the Leone out of it. Leone is not, in my opinion, a very good ship. But, I mean, hey, free premium ship. It's actually an okay gunboat when fighting other destroyers. But for everything else, it's kind of, torpedo reload time is pretty good, but you only get 4 torps. But, yeah, I have a review out on it if you guys want to check that out. But, again, free boat is a free boat. Alright, we've also updated the Toronto port. How do you say it? It's Taranto, I believe, port for this event. It looks very nice. It's like the second time in recent memory that this port's been updated for an event with the Italian ships. I mean, good God, they've really poured into the Italian Navy recently. This Navy's gone from having just like 2 or 3 premiums for an eternity to now it's on its way to be one of the largest tech trees in game, which is very much should be. The Italians had a very large navy during the Second World War. They just didn't have a lot of fuel to do anything with it. Alright, Dockyard. In 11.3, players would be able to construct the new Pan-American battleship, the Tier 8 Atlantico, at the Clyde Bank Shipyard. Here's some images from that shipyard. So, the Atlantico, it's, I'm assuming, inspired by the Pan-American nations that were trying to build dreadnoughts in the early 20th century. Many of them contracted out to, of course, Britain to build these ships for them. That was very much the case with the Agincourt, but then the UK said, no, we need that, and took it instead. But anyway, the event rules. The Dockyard consists of 22 construction stages. Phases can be completed through Dockyard combat missions, or purchased for 1,750 doubloons each. The combat mission groups can be completed during updates 11.3 and 11.4, while the Dockyard itself will remain available until the start of update 11.5. You can complete a total of 19 out of the 22 construction phases through combat missions. If you complete the construction of Atlantico with doubloons before completing the combat missions, the missions themselves will still be available to you. However, instead of getting construction stages as rewards, you will receive bundles of 250 steel. Alright, so by doing some quick math, if you do want to buy through the entirety of the Dockyard using doubloons, that will cost you 38,500 dubs. But normally for the first couple of days of the Dockyard, they do offer the starter bundles that you can get depending upon, what Dockyard it is, like 3 stages or like 7 stages. I think it's normally around 10 or 10 stages that you can buy these early starter packs for, which is generally a better deal if you're planning on buying through the whole thing with the blooms. I wouldn't really recommend that. Now, the Atlantico looks like a fun, derpy Mimi ship, but a big red flag for me is that its top speed is 25 knots at tier 8. And this is a ship that's supposed to be secondary focused. She has Goliath caliber secondary guns on the side of her on her sides. But you only go 25 knots at tier 8. So we haven't seen the final iteration of the ship yet. You know, it's still in testing. This is still 11.3. This is 5 weeks away from the next patch. So this is still a ways out. So I wouldn't be setting too much on buying the Atlantico outright. I really wouldn't recommend it anyway. It's 38,000 doubloons for a tier 8 ship. That's a lot of doubloons. Unless you just really want the steel, then yeah, it's worth it for that. But anyway, so you can complete 19 of the phases for free, which means you will have to buy the last 3 phases, which that's for the low price of 5,250 dubs. You get a tier 8 premium ship by putting some time in and completing the combat missions, which, I mean, they've had a pretty good track record now over the past, what dockyard is this even? The 6th or 7th dockyard of having the combat missions be fairly easy to do. The last set is normally a little bit more challenging, but nowhere near like Puerto Rico levels of challenging. So it's normally a pretty easy grind, and then you throw 5,000 dubs at it, and then you get a tier 8 premium ship, which it's still a pretty good deal. And then do keep in mind too, as you go through these phases, you get rewards as well. They haven't stated what rewards are going to be given out yet. With the past couple of dockyards, they've given out premium ships of the nation that is featured in the dockyard, but this is Pan America, which there's like what, the Julio, and that's it. So yeah, we'll see what they do. I'm sure more information will be announced as we get closer to the dockyard, but we shall see. Alright, visual changes. Camouflage mounted on an aircraft carrier will now also be painted onto its aircraft squadrons. Hey, that's pretty neat. That's a nice touch up. That's only really been applied to like the Halloween or the special camos where it's like the planes get turned into like UFOs, or in instance for the Halloween camos like bats or something. So seeing that get applied to the planes for normal camos, that's pretty neat. Added dynamic weather-based snow effect on ships. This is what they talked about during the roadmap stream. So their plans are for snow, sand, water. That's all going to, and ice, that's all going to accumulate on your ship now as the battle goes on, which is a very, very, very cool thing and a lovely, lovely, lovely little detail to add on, and I'm so glad they're doing that. Also, quite a few maps are getting facelifts now. So, they're adding HD textures for the maps Tears of the Desert, Trap, Warrior's Path, and Solomon Islands. So that means these maps now are going to look just as good as Hotspot does with its 4K textures. Same thing's happening to these maps. I mean, just look at these screenshots they show. And these screenshots, I don't think these are in like full 4K. I think they're in like 720 or 1080p. But it looks good. Like, Trap looks great. So does Warrior's Path. Like, again, I'm so glad they're starting to touch up this game and breathe this game out of 2015 and into the 2020s now with the graphics. This can be an absolutely beautiful game at times with the current textures, and with these new textures, that's great. And then Solomon Islands, that looks so good. That looks good. Alright, thanks to the improvements made to the game's visual component, ships themselves as well as the underwater landscape look more natural, aesthetically pleasing. In addition, the rendering distance of underwater objects when looking through binoculars has been improved. Now that's good. Underwater world, it's a very new thing for the game, and it has looked a little sketchy at times, so whether that's been improved, that is a step in the right direction, visually at least, but submarines is a completely different video. Alright, new content. The following content will be added in the upcoming update 11.3. Japanese lacquer for the Maya, which is the Tier 7 premium Japanese cruiser. And the Japanese lacquer, that's the same camo you can get on the, what's it called, the Hayate. Looks freaking sweet. It's got some really nice, lovely detail in there. And then, again, the black, red, and gold camo. It looks so good. I really like that camo. Alright, permanent camouflage Japanese castle for the Nagato. Oh my god, they literally turned it into a pagoda. Oh, they turned the pagoda into a pagoda. Wonderful, wonderful. She need for the Fuso now. Permanent camouflage, Wing of Courage for the Averi. This is the one from the contest. That's always cool, seeing stuff the community creates make its way into the game. The permanent camouflage, Dusky Owl for Ragnar. This looks freaking sweet. Oh my god, that color combination, the dark blue, the light blue, and the white. That looks amazing. Man, I don't even have Ragnar, and I want that camo. The permanent camo Doolittle Raid for the Hornet, and another good-looking camo there, too. Oh, there's a B-25 on the flight deck. Like, I know there's B-25s on the flight deck in the image, but there's a outline there. That looks cool. I really like the combination of the blue and the whites. Same thing with the Ragnar. It's a wonderful combination. That looks wonderful. The camouflage Constellation of Memory. I have no idea what this is going for. It looks pretty trippy, but alright, alright. 6 new commemorative flags. Armada del Ecuador. Alright. That is Cox season 14 there. And some more Italian stuff. I'm assuming for the Italian deities and the weird space column thingy there. Okay. New achievements and patches. Yep. COTS season 14 patch. More COTS patches. And I don't know if there's other two are. I'm assuming they have to do with COTS as well. Alright. Ways to obtain new content will be announced later. Please note all information. Devblog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The final information will be published on our game's website. Alright, so 11.3. Again, this is still 2 patches away. Looks like we got some interesting stuff coming out. Atlantico, I'm always very excited for the next Dockyard ship, especially when it's one like the Atlantico Super Dreadnought with massive secondary guns. And I'm very excited for the visual improvements that are coming to the game. These are really, really, really big improvements that I'm glad they are doing this. Of course, we still need new maps and other things like that too, but the fact that they are giving the game a big facelift by doing this is a fantastic thing in my mind. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. One way to 35,000 subs, just passed 33,800 a few days ago, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday, wonderful weekend. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.